Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. We got a lot of tavern brawls to do and a couple of 5 druid and hunter victories and a priest and warlock victories. We got a lot to do. On top of that, I got a watch and learn, which got me a new pack. We'll start with that. And I got the challenge of Friend Quest that got me 80 gold, so those two things combined actually work in an odd way that forces me to record 2 days later. So now we are having even less consistent recording sessions because now at least it seems that you can do that.
Versus Jaina.
Now I didn't read what this tavern brawl was, but it seems like it was just pick a character and play. So we'll move on with that, I suppose. So I've recently recorded Lords of Shadow, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, and there was an interview with the, I believe, co-founders of that company, Mercury Studio, who were allowed to make this Japanese game because Konami didn't really care, and so they made Lords of Shadow 1, Lords of Shadow 2, and so maybe it's a smart thing, maybe it's a dumb thing. Seems like things.
I don't have enough mana.
Seems like things are getting cheaper each turn. Interesting. So where was I? Yeah, they didn't really care. There was one like Japanese guy, not Hideo Kojima, maker of Metal Gear Solid, although he did work with him somewhat. Seems like the things don't become any cheaper. Let's see, this, and then this, and this.
Job's done.
It was, I think, maybe Hideaki Anno. I'm trying to remember the names of Japanese creators. Anyways, so one of the things that was interesting is I watched a video about this anime called Psychopath, and there's season 2. And basically what happened is it was very popular in season 1, and then season 2 was scheduled, but it wasn't going to be the main people doing season 2. It was going to be a completely different team because the team that made season 1 was making a movie instead. So, it's kind of typical in Japanese culture, for artists at least, for movie, anime creators, and video game creators. They kind of just have this hands-off approach to it. They say, we're here to support you and help you, but we're not going, it's not our baby, we don't care, type thing.
Do you need a blessing?
So, because of that,
the spirits be rested.
The one Japanese guy who was allowed to hire this, I believe, Canadian team, Mercury Studios, pretty much said, it's all on you, you can do whatever you want. So they're left to do whatever they want, and they made Lord of Shadow, and then they made Lord of Shadow 2, which apparently is even worse, because, from what I've heard, at least, and even they're saying in the interview that Lords of Shadow 2 was considered worse, which is really, really ridiculous because they're saying Lords of Shadow 1 was great, and I just played that game, and I'm like, no, it's a mediocre, boring game. I'm not a fan of Castlevania at all. I've never played it, and even I'm saying it's like a mediocre, just dull game going on here, and with a story that goes just crazy. Yeah, crazy direction. I guess I'll stick with Priest and just keep trying. Maybe I should read what this Tavern Brawl is next time. But I listened to this interview and boy are they deluded. So deluded. So deluded. Now, there is part of the interview is that apparently they claim one guy got fired and he was a friend of the Spanish newspaper, and so he posted this thing saying this guy is I guess a jerk or something. I mean, they didn't even directly cover the accusations that were made anonymously on the thing. So, I mean, I'm willing to believe it probably was revenge, but it may have been very founded too, because, you know, it's like they didn't bother to respond, which is an insane thing to do. Not to send out a press release saying none of this is true at all.
Give me a quest.
Let's go take this guy. But it really doesn't even matter if the guy's a jerk or not. He's obviously one of these people. One of these. I mean, I want to call them Californians and just like hippie dippy things, but this is a Canadian. So, I mean, artsy people may be the better term to call them. But they're just like surrounded with yes people. And so he's saying things like, well, this game sold better than any of the other Castlevania games. Now, I am certain the reason why it sold better in his mind is because he is not taking equivalent dollars for dollars. Well, he is doing dollars for dollars, and he's not adjusting for inflation. Like a $60 game compared to a $30 game a few years ago is a little bit different depending on what time. Someone one for each of your other minions.
Separate lines, please.
So he's saying like it did well, even though the critics didn't like it. It's got positive reviews on Steam, and with the new Steam system, who knows if that's still technically true. I mean, frankly, getting positive reviews on Steam means nothing. It's like people who are Castlevania fans hated us from the beginning, and the title of the article is like, we were caught in a poop storm, and I'm like, oh, so you're just making excuse after excuse after excuse, and they're like, the first Lords of Shadow was a great game, and I'm like, you didn't hear a single complaint or criticism of this game, did you? Like, I know you didn't. I can recognize this level of just being self-absorbed. He just thinks he's perfect. He thought his game was perfect, and he's heard no criticism. And you can clearly see that if Lords of Shadow, when I go and cover it, is just this garbage thing. Apparently in Lords of Shadow 2 there's a section where Dracula turns into a rat and you go into a stealth mission, which not really a stealth game, Lords of Shadow 1, nor any other Castlevania stealth game. And he goes, well, that's at most 6% of the game. So even if 6% of the game is garbage, that's not the whole game. The rest of the game is good. It's like, what argument are you trying to make here? What lunacy? I mean, So I think all these cards are just randomly changing.
For the war chief! For hell's
So I don't know if I want to go too far on that. It's just this article was just jaw dropping, and it really gets down to the ultimate problem that seems to be growing in our United States society, or North America, Western society. There are people who have been put in charge, and they're turning into managers and bosses like you would have at any job. And so it's, I guess, not only surprising to me, maybe I'm naive, that they wouldn't be the same in the video game industry too, but yeah.
My echoes are returning.
So yeah, these people are not mentally thinking the right way. It's like, and they're getting put in charge, and they're circling themselves around yes men. I listen to so many podcasts, and I don't know why I keep listening to them, where it's just like one person starts talking, and then it turns into this argument, this cordial argument, not like a angry, we've got to argue here. Although I have heard a few conversations that did just end with like a total F you to the other person, but usually not. Usually the problem is these people, when you're a critic, or when you're passionate about something, you should actually defend yourself. But then there is a certain level where you just say, you know what, I've said my piece, I don't really need to defend it, nor do I need to convince you to think the way I think. Because particularly in criticism, everything's subjective, so you can totally have a situation where two people have valid opinions that are different. And I am not winning. So I don't want to hear people say, well, I like this game, and then the person across the table saying, well, tell me, I liked it too. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Yeah. I only played it for 5 seconds, so I haven't played the game at all, but it sounds great. I love it. It's like, that's not an exchange of information in a skeptical manner. That is just yes-manning. It's just bootlicking. So I don't know if I was ever on a podcast what I would do. And maybe I would just get peer pressured into doing the same too. Probably not, because I don't have those social graces per se. So I will stick to my opinions and just say, no, you're wrong. I don't care, and I'm not going to argue about it a lot of times, about whatever they're wrong. But I will say to people, just, no, you're totally off.
The seas belong to us.
Job done.
So, generally, what I would think I would do on a podcast, though, is I would just say, tell me more. Give me information. Just be quiet and listen. That's all I want from when I listen to a podcast. Is I want somebody's personal experience, and I will weigh that against what I know of that person. And sometimes that person's tastes are completely opposite of mine. Sometimes that person's tastes are completely in line with mine. Well, actually, truthfully, almost never is it that the case. Sometimes some of their tastes are in line with mine, sometimes some of their tastes are opposite mine. But I feel like, yeah, encounter crossroads under a mana storm, choose a class and get random cards. Let's pick a different class. Who can we else play as? Warlock? But we'll try that. Warlock cards that are cheap might make a good move. But if we don't all really work to stop from just being yes men, you do create this whole culture. And I think that's what Mercury Studios is. It is just a culture of thinking you're great. Thinking
I am
that
your nightmare.
And that then turns around and makes it very, 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 very difficult for anybody to bring up any problems with any creation. But for video games, any flaws with Lords of Shadow 1, any problems there. Like the article says that they were held back by the story. Lords of Shadow 1 was completely held back by a terrible story. The fact that that was not recognized in the first game. They said that the levels were very varied in the first game and open, where the second game is smaller and claustrophobic. I completely think it's the opposite. I really do. It felt like the first game, the levels were very straight paths with some divergence. I've seen it a lot worse in other games where you actually are just running in a straight line, but that was hardly an open world in Lords of Shadow 1. But instead of learning from any of the problems that I clearly said when I reviewed the game, which honestly, I mean, I reviewed the game it hasn't even come out yet, but so it's not like they would learn from me, but I'm sure other reviewers learned that. I can't, of course, consider any of my criticism to be current criticism that would even help them in making sequels. My criticism is retrospective for almost every game I cover. The only people that could take my criticism and move forward were people who, for example, Jonathan Below, creator of The Witness, he could have taken my criticism had he watched my videos, which I'm sure he didn't, and maybe if he makes a Witness 2 or whatever next game he makes, he'll learn from that, because I played The Witness first. The creators of the Talos Principle, any criticisms I put in that, I don't even remember what I said, they could take it from that. But when I cover games like Portal or Mirror's Edge, after Mirror's Edge 2 Catalyst is kind of already done, they can't take anything from that for that point. Maybe they can certainly take it to their next game if they make a Mirror's Edge 3, since Mirror Edge 2 was basically Catalyst, even though it was a soft reboot. But yeah, this is a problem that is certainly coming more and more about. And that brings us to where this really is going to start affecting me, possibly, maybe not. Like, there's always the great chance that this really isn't going to affect me at all, but the YouTube has decided to introduce yet a new thing. And see, this came up on a channel called YouTube Help, and I'm still kind of wondering if maybe it's not an official YouTube channel, and that this video is just some kind of troll thing. Because it feels almost like a troll. It is so, like, tone deaf and ridiculously dumb. What they've introduced, according to this video, is this YouTube Heroes program. And even if this Heroes program is fake, there's certainly,
Soldiers of the cold
at the same time, have announced this Creators for Change program. So that certainly is not Creators for Change, Creators for Diversity. Why YouTube thinks it has a diversity problem, I have no idea. Unless YouTube knows in itself that its algorithm, which only really encourages the highest trending things on its trending tab, and then the rest of its algorithm is nothing but tags. So unless YouTube itself knows that it's programmed its algorithm to unfairly treat minorities, there's literally no diversity problem on YouTube. And of course, people will complain they don't get enough views, and certain people will certainly complain it's because they are of a different, of some minority. I complain I don't get enough views, and I unfortunately can't make that argument. But it's just so ridiculous, and these are the kind of lunatics, well, complainers. I don't know what to call them lunatics, it's just complainers that they're saying, well, we need more diversity in YouTube. How? Why? Why can't YouTube right now is not promoting any videos except for the most viewed videos. And sadly, because YouTube does insane things, the most viewed videos often are videos about how YouTube is garbage. And I've told them this in surveys, and I assume these surveys are feeding back into what they already want to hear. And clearly, this is another person high in YouTube, just surrounded by yes men, thinking we've got to do everything we can to encourage this. Now, YouTube may actually have a diversity problem, as probably all of YouTube does, in who they hire, because they probably don't hire that many people in the first place, and I could see why in a organization of IT full of men, you might not have a lot of female IT people. That in general is something you can actually make an argument for. But as far as the shows, as far as the channels, it's not like that. There's no system in place where it could be like that. So creating a system in place to encourage somebody else, I mean, immediately, if they came out with a option that said, I can declare myself to be a minority, I'm gonna have to go in there and click, I'm a minority here, 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 and just like click all the boxes and say I'm a minority and just lie like crazy. Because if YouTube really was gonna promote other people, I need those views, and I don't care about lying to. Not one bit.
Your soul shall be mine.
But it is really the stupidest thing in the world. So I know that commitment for change thing is happening. I know that's a legitimate YouTube thing. I know there's insanity going on in that part. If YouTube just promoted anybody, they would have an argument, but they don't. They don't even have a random tab. At least not on the cell phone app. on the trending tabs, you have music, which is full of Vimeo music, and pretty much nothing else. So they're promoting the big Vimeo companies, which they shouldn't do that. They should actively work against that, because it's against their own interest to work with people that want to see them fail. They have the top trending things, which a lot of times that's like news things, and a lot of times it's YouTube is failing. Sometimes it's Reddit posted a video. There's this lady that is 80 years old and plays Skyrim, and boy was I watching that, like, super jealous of that. It's just like there's nothing she was doing that I could see that was anything different than what I do or what any other gamer does. And the only reason why she has like 400,000 subscribers and she's getting 500,000 views on this video is because of Reddit. And
Feel the power.
Figuring out the trick to get on Reddit and not be called a shill and get a bunch of views is something I have yet to crack. If I could get somebody to actually post my videos on Reddit and it not just turn into like, and it actually catch on, which I imagine there's a lot of tricks there. It'd probably kickstart my entire channel. The number of views I have in compared to other people at the 2-year mark is ridiculously low. The number of subscribers I have is infinitesimally small. I am getting subscribers though, so I mean, whatever. It's just slowly growing. I really feel like my channel in particular, I'm just pulling myself up from the bootstraps. And we'll play one more time. So we're not making any progress here at all. Whereas I know YouTube does kind of promote Geek and Sundry and Nerdist. Big publishing companies, certainly they promote PewDiePie and all of them with the YouTube Red. That was a stupid idea. More and more, my fear that will actually kill YouTube is them trying to turn this into a TV station, and then just one day they'll decide to cancel all the channels that don't make enough, that just don't make enough profit for them. And on a certain level, I kind of even would like it if they went to some of these YouTube things that were posting videos and they have like one video and it somehow got 500,000 views and they just said no, you're off the channel. But that's not really gonna change anything either. That's not who beats me consistently. Who beats me consistently is the PewDiePie, the Francos, the Jim Sterlings. All of them are the ones that have the big subscriber count with an audience that actually comes back. And see, they were supposed to do this community tab, and I haven't seen that roll out yet. Not for everybody. So they're just like all over the place.
Bring me steel.
Every time they do something.
All realities,
Completely random business. But let's talk about the YouTube, what is it, Heroes? Yeah, the YouTube Heroes program. So basically, instead of paying people to be moderators, they're going to let people be moderators and give them points. And it seems like they're going to be let people be moderators over all of YouTube without any input of the creators whatsoever. So whoever's in this YouTube Hero program could go to my videos moderate out my comments. So let's just start with this. So I need every comment I have. If I moderate a comment out, it is because they were incredibly rude and I just didn't want to deal with them. If I lose a comment, doesn't that then effectively give me one less interaction?
It's time.
Doesn't that mean my channel has less likelihood of being seen? I mean, seriously, isn't that what that is? So, let's say you're a bad actor, because YouTube Heroes is almost certainly going to be overrun with bad actors. Let's say I join it and I decide to be a bad actor. I could go to PewDiePie's videos and mark all of his comments as offensive, hide the users from speaking on his channel ever again. I could add subtitles and closed captions to it, even though there's a box that clearly says in the creators thing, I don't want people doing that, because I know if they did that, they would only just
Servants, soldiers of the cold dark, or start a cold. It's time.
if they put closed captioning, I know they would just put garbage, or they would do even worse and like put advertisements and stuff. I imagine it would be very easy in this YouTube Heroes program to just bring about a script that put like, go to this website on every single web video, just constantly go to this website, install this to see free movies. That's where it would start. It'd be like free full movies, free pornography on every video, subtitles like that. And so somebody can delete my comments, somebody can put subtitles on this. Assumingly I have no control of any of this. That's what it seems like. Someone can...
It's time.
So that's just like the first two things. The next thing is someone can flag all my videos with this new mass flagging, which when they said mass flag videos, legitimately the video just says mass flag videos. I'm like, are they trying to start a flagging war? Is that all they're trying to do? This is insane. Nobody needs to mass flag videos. Ever. And so then you get more points in the YouTube Heroes program that gives you more abilities and more tools so that you're even better at flagging and deleting comments that you have no business touching at all. Like, this whole system seems like it could almost make sense if it was the creators were saying this person could be a hero for my channel, and that's just like the new term for a moderator. Because yeah, I could see that, like where I could say I'm gonna let this person be a moderator for my channel, but still giving them more features than the moderators for my channel right now, if I give somebody that has, makes no sense. Allowing them to touch channels that they have no business touching. Some audiences are super family friendly, and even saying the word poop is grounds for removing your comment. Some channels are insanely mature, and it would be ridiculous for the same moderator to apply their same subjective standard to that. And in no way does this help anything or make YouTube more family friendly. I think YouTube is gotten lied to. If this really is YouTube with this YouTube Heroes thing, it has like 140,000 downvotes, and so I mean, why don't they just bring this up with the creators first? They can pop up a survey for a month and say, we're thinking about giving you this, executing this new feature. What do you think about it? Bring this secretly into the background. These are all kinds of conversations that would happen in any business, but you don't have it in front of the customers. You don't just, McDonald's doesn't say, make a commercial one day and say, we're going to have the employees not wash their hands. It's going to save you time and get you your food faster and cheaper. McDonald's wouldn't possibly do that. And then every single employee would have to come out and say, no, we're going to actually wash our hands. We actually like to wash our hands. We like not making our customers sick. This is a ridiculous policy. This is awful. This is the end of McDonald's. If these conversations should have happened in the back room between creators and YouTube, all creators, run a survey. You can do it. I know you can. But no, they just announced this garbage. And it's almost certainly not going to get implemented. If it does, it's almost certainly going to turn into a nightmare. Is this the end of YouTube? Who knows? What do I do at that point? I don't know. Really? Maybe I just put up with it. Maybe I just put all my videos up private. Depends on how fast videos getting flagged all of a sudden turns into your channel getting deleted. Because with a mass flagging tool, wow, you can almost certainly get, it's like 3 or 5 community strikes and then your channel's gone. You could easily flag 3 or 5 channels with a tool. Way easier than it is, which it's too easy right now to flag 5 videos. Like, channels would disappear left and right. And what's the point of me staying on YouTube if all the big people are gone? Am I going to be the new big person? No, because all the people that were watching the big people are going to be upset. And this is the worst part of this, is every time YouTube does this, it encourages more and more people to stop watching YouTube. A lot more than it even encourages people to stop making videos for YouTube. It's just such insanity. Wow. And we only talked about those 2 things, and we are past time on this recording. We shall see what happens next week with YouTube. It seems like every week they announce some new garbage, and I don't know what in the world they're thinking. YouTube doesn't have to do much. Promote random videos. That's all you gotta do. That's the only thing I want them to ever change. Promote random videos. Roll out that outro feature that I know you're working on. Stop giving special help to things like College Humor, which has annotations working for like 2 months now on the cell phones, yet annotations for everybody else is not working. So stop giving special preference to people. Just evenly, randomly promote things. Run your dumb algorithm. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Get over this stupid thought of needing to fix YouTube. The comment sections are always going to be garbage, and having the people who comment in comment sections moderate the comment sections is just letting the lunatics run the asylum. I guess that's my YouTube rant there. If I put these things out early, I'd probably get some views on this too. I could probably just stick this out and go, yeah, here's my YouTube Heroes rant. But that's not my channel. I don't want my channel to be a rant channel. I don't want my channel to be a drama channel. They should have a drama tab and move all of the things that are drama channels to it, because there is a lot of drama videos that I'm fine with being on YouTube that get just put into news and gaming. So many videos on the gaming tab aren't gaming. Anyway, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, There's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.